Hey, what's happening to you guys? It's been a while, and just wanted to chime in with a few insights, specifically on all of the different reasons why, when you're going through your health journey, if you're doing some body transformation, you're wanting to recomposition your body for performance, for aesthetics, whatever the reasons may be, there's a lot of insights that everyone can take from all of us who are paying close attention and experimenting and constantly learning about this entire space. So we learn from experts, from other people that have gone down this path, and then we apply it and we get feedback from our own body, our mind, our environment to see how it works for us individually. Because there's a lot of uniqueness to each of us, but there's also a lot of similarities. Of course, we're all drinking some amount of water in some way. Even if the water is only coming from food, you're not going to be able to survive without water. We're all breathing air, and so many things that we have in common that we have to do in order to survive, just simply survive. But in order to thrive, the game changes in a lot of different ways. And so a lot of the factors, though, where we've come from, our experiences, our genetics, the way that our ancestors lived, 1 generation, 2 generations, 5 generations back, have some influence on the way that our systems interact with food and our environment. There's our psychology, just our individual experiences in this life, all of the different inputs that we've had, the type of people we've been around, how healthy has the air been, the water, what type of food have we been eating. So whatever your diet was 10 years ago, even though that may have some effect in some ways to the state of your body and your mind now, it's not going to have as much of an effect as what you've done over, say, the past year. And so there are things that you can change, but there's also some things that you can't change. And so what you really have to do if you want really, really good results is become somewhat educated on the generalities of the systems that can get you to where you'd like to be. Whatever your particular goal is, there's these systems that you can plug into, but then there's going to be these individual choices that are going to be more customized to your particular situation, whether it's having more whole foods that are plant-based, or you might be in a situation where you're a very accomplished athlete, and so you have more muscle and you expend more energy, and so you have to customize your diet that way. You may be living in an environment where it's very chaotic in a city. It's really busy, so you need to take some extra time to meditate, to decompress and help with the healing process. There's lots of different ways to customize things. And when you really care deeply about yourself, your performance, the way that you show up in the world, the example you set for others, then you start to pay close attention to your own body, your own mind, and what works for you. So the combination of that experiment with everything, and then the knowledge based on other people that have walked down the same path, those combination of those things over time is potentially going to give you some really, really amazing results. So that's what I'm doing. Been doing this for quite some time, and I'm just getting feedback and adjusting things. How is my digestion? How is my energy? How is my sleep? How is my performance? My mindset? How clear is my brain? How creative am I? There's just a lot of metrics that you can measure, and you can adjust things as you progress through this life, and just continue to grow and learn and improve. And sometimes you'll make mistakes that don't serve you, and those are just learning experiences for what didn't work. And then sometimes things will be a great success, and those are learning experiences of what does work for you. And you just constantly adjust that trajectory. Just like you're sailing across the ocean to a particular destination, these sailors are constantly tracking, either they're being guided by the stars, or they're being guided by instruments, or a combination, or whatever tracking mechanisms they have. They're constantly readjusting things because the ocean and the winds and the tides and everything is changing to some degree on these large journeys across the ocean. And so it's the same thing with this life. It's like constantly checking in to see how well you're doing, and like a GPS system. Where have you started from? Where would you like to get? And then what's the best path to get there? Ultimately, only you're going to know from all the feedback of what really, really works. Someone may be able to tell you that certain supplements work, or a certain particular diet or an exercise routine, and you start that and there's a problem. And it doesn't mean it's necessarily always going to be a problem, but it may start out as not optimal for you. And so you have to try and get feedback and see. And there's a lot of unknown factors, because sometimes it may not seem like it's really going to work for you well, but that's just because in the beginning stages it's quite uncomfortable and the system's not used to it. So it's actually a really good program, but it seems like it may not be a good program in the beginning. And that's sometimes difficult to understand if this is going to be a long-term problem or you just have to push through. There's no real good answer to these. It's not really possible to know for sure. There's just not enough data, and you just have to continue to experiment and consider things deeply as you progress. All right, guys, I'll be making a few videos here and there, and hopefully everything is going well for you, and hopefully these are helpful. Aloha.